Hi, loves. Mochi and JAH here. So, I tend to get a lot of people who ask me advice quite often. And I have no problem giving advice, but here's what I say to anyone who asks any other person for physical advice out of their mouths looking for guidance. You have to remember there's a certain level of respect that goes into that as well. Because if you come back to me with the same story, the same energy, the same unresolved non resolution, and you expect me to keep coming back and giving you energy, I think not, my love. This is when you have to recognize that you are making yourself become an energy vampire when you do that to people. And then they're not willing to be open or give you what you expect you're supposed to get each return. What happens is we go out and we seek advice and forget to listen to ourselves as well as listen to the advice. You can't just take advice and then walk away with that one singular piece of advice and then go back to a scenario that you've already encountered and then use that piece of advice, but don't realize that it's a tool and you don't know how to utilize it, and you end up reacting the same way. And now you've implanted in your head that the advice given is invalid due to the fact that your reaction was the same and you got the same outcome. Do you understand? Emotions are chemistry, love. If you trace your equation and find your expressions, you understand the formula and why it keeps it's whatever, however it comes out, the way it comes out to get the answer that you think you deserve, you need to get. The point being is, anytime someone asks me for advice or I seek advice, I truly thank the person. And I will come back to and let them know, like, you know what? You gave some really good advice, and I tried, but my old ways just crept back in, and I had to let that mother. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes sometimes. But I acknowledge that, I accept that, and I respect that because at least they're saying your experience in life and how you reacted probably possibly dead on, but I didn't give myself the opportunity to do so. So thank you for at least trying to give me something that I might utilize later, because you might not always take it into advice or take it into heed right away, but you have to at least give yourself the time and the privilege of saying, okay, okay, let me go back and try that again before I go off and say that doesn't work. All right, guys, that was just a quick little tip from Simple Syrup. Simple Syrup is my little alter ego. Like, let me look, it's not too far from my real ego, but but it's mostly like, let me tell you how it is without me trying to sugarcoat it. That's why it's Simple Syrup, like, yeah, because they're really sugarcoating it. I could be a lot rougher in what I'm giving, but that ain't gonna serve nobody. And that's what we've been given. We've been given rough speech, rough talk with no follow up, or passive speech and passive talk with no backup. So if you have no support in a backbone to stand on your own, and then you're seeking advice from people who have possibly or possibly not utilized the same advice actively in their lives, who are you getting advice from then? Because it sounds like to me that's a replication of pattern that makes people do the same thing and wonder why life ain't working for them. You have to make it work for yourself. That's all it is. It's a very simple formula. Interact, be symbiotic with your environment, give back, be a part of things that make change while loving your environment and loving yourself. Because when you do all of these things, life gets a lot cleaner. First of all, there's a whole lot more clarity when you take the time to clean out shit that literally does not belong to you. As a child, fine, you can take that advice, go with it, run with it. But as an adult who has paid some real bills and lived some real life and ain't nobody helping you, bitch, you better start finding some answers. You better start making some new answers for yourself, because relying on another's perspective of opinion or perspective of experience or perspective of me just telling you, this is only to ignite you. This is only to be an initiator and a facilitator. That is my only purpose on this earth that I have accepted and acknowledged, and I will do dutifully. But there's people who need to hear messages so they can wake up and activate themselves and start making a whole new way of living for others that will energetically draw us all back to the collective conscious, which is heart-centered and love-based and says, I see you're struggling, let me help you. Not do for you. Mm-mm. Not in this age, honey. I am not doing for nothing for you. I will help show you. I will stand by you. I will guide you. If you look like you're about to hurt yourself, I will save you, but I will not do your work. That is something that we all must do, and we all must come back to the desk and let everybody know what we learned so we don't all keep making the same silly, crazy scenarios of patterns in our lives that we can definitely avoid. All right, guys. I love you. This has been EQ with JAH. Simple syrup version. We like those, get a little more. Bring the ego out. Other ones are talk from the soul. Ego got to come out once in a while, too. Don't forget, honey, I'm still Getro. I will. Bye. Happy Labor Day.